Hey there everybody and welcome to the HQ. Today we're going to be reacting to the Runescape mod who stole from his players. Now, we just watched the Many Kudos video about Kerafim the Sleeper, a supposedly unkillable boss that got despawned and later respawned by the game developers. This is another video about another MMO and a developer or moderator or whoever that also screwed over their players. So let's see if this one is better or worse than what Sony did with Kerafim. Shall we?
Online games are serious business. In an industry worth
absolutely.
Billions, the companies behind our favorite digital
Billions
life
and
distractors
trillions
place
of
immense
dollars.
trust in their employees. After all, the smallest mistake has the potential to sink a game's reputation in today's vast sea of entertainment. Whether it's a poorly written line of code that ruins the game's economy, or a rendering error that ends up becoming the face of your game's launch. Ironically.
So, or, lack thereof
face. When one of your employees abuses their access to back-end systems to steal over $250,000 from other players, all the while feeding insider information to their in-game clan, designing content that specifically favors said clan, and possibly helping them win official esports tournaments worth $20,000. Welcome back to Mini Scandals. This is the story of Jed Sanderson.
I can already tell this is going to be worse than the Kerafim situation in it.
Games can be a force for good, bringing together groups of similarly smelling players to complete content and score fantastic pants for everyone involved. They can just as easily bring together a group of vindictive, power-hungry people, also known as MMO players, whose lust for pants drives them to commit acts of digital terror against their fellow gamers. Now, your average clan might achieve this by ambushing rival clans trying to complete content, or while they're in the middle of an in-game funeral for their real-life friend. But we are not dealing with an average clan. We're dealing with a clan
that's some
who managed to get
right
one
there,
of their
man.
own working for the very company that makes the game they play. This is how you truly enact a reign of Terror. In RuneScape, Reign of Terror, or ROT, is an infamous RuneScape clan that try their hardest to live up to their name, which is quite easy to accomplish in a game where you get to steal the valuable pants from the players you kill. Clan drama in RuneScape is like a dramatic play put on by the world's sweatiest troupe, complete with mighty battles,
I'm the Joker, baby.
Crippling betrayals, and a whole lot of dirty play. Reign of Terror was not afraid to play dirty. In fact, that's pretty much all they knew how to play, so I guess it'd be more apt to say that they were afraid to play clean, because that would involve showering. Enter Jed Sanderson. Known as Mod Jed to the community,
this guy looks like
Sanderson
a tool.
was a junior content developer.
This guy just looks like a tool with
Jagex,
that fucking comb over, dude.
That secretes RuneScape. Mod Jed was a member of Reign of Terror prior to being hired. And while you might think that Jagex could see this as a conflict of interest,
he looks like a tool.
Surely no one would prioritize their in-game clan over their career. Despite being a reasonable assumption to make,
you don't think somebody would do that?
He was able to abuse his position within the company to aid both his clan and especially himself in multiple ways.
God,
for example,
imagine getting a job. Imagine getting a job at a game developer
was initially met with praise from the
for
community,
your favorite game,
who were impressed with his contribution to the Monkey Madness 2 quest and the passion he seemed to exude for the game.
You use it to cheat at the game you're working on. Holy shit.
2 may have rubbed off on him, because it seems as though his passion was less so for the game and more for Reign of Terror. Jed is also credited with designing the Revenant Caves, a highly lucrative money-making spot deep within the Wildy, an area in the game where players are free to attack one another. These caves were designed in such a way that a group of people, such as, like a clan, like a clan named like Drizzle of Scares, Reign of Terror, would be able to lock it down and deny other players entry. Indeed, this will end up being the case.
Dickheadedry right there,
leaked
man.
Messages appear to show that Jed gave Reign of Terror notice on what to expect in the caves days in advance, possibly giving them an advantage over the clans going in blind. Reign of Terror would go on to hire Venezuelan mercenaries to guard the caves, who would one day rise up against their masters and claim the caves for themselves, which is a video in itself, so Chuck a like on this one and subscribe if you want to see that. So a clan knew about a good farming spot a few days early. Big whoop. The real juicy leak may have occurred a year prior. Information that could well have won Reign of Terror $10,000. As we saw in the last RuneScape mini scandals video, the Deadman tournaments run by Jagex are often fraught with issues.
Well, I know what to watch next then.
4th Deadman final would be no different.
His other
now, if you aren't hip with the youth of today,
video about RuneScape.
Well, that means you're more likely to know what a Deadman tournament is. But if you don't, it's where Jagex sets up special fresh servers where players have a week to level up a character as much as they can, before everybody fights to the death, the winner making off with a substantial cash prize. Much like Battle Royale games such as Fortnite, PUBG, and Forza Horizon 2 Car Pass, a deadly fog slowly cuts off portions of the world, funneling players into the same space so that they're forced to fight. Usually. Imagine then if you could predict where this final safe space would be
Battle Royale.
and the immense tactical advantage you would gain by parking your clan there and sack tapping any combatants who entered. Take a guess which clan found themselves in this safe space hours before the fog rolled in. The final location of this tournament, Al Kharid Palace, was especially advantageous to hold, as there was only one entrance that turned into a massive bottleneck
on where the finale for this thing would go down,
defend, leading to their victory. In fairness to Jed and Rot, ex-RuneScape mod Matt K conceded that while it was entirely possible for Jed to have access to that information, he believes it was unlikely he leaked it.
But there was no way he leaked the end game like days before, or how was that even decided?
No, I don't think he could have done. You could easily find it out, but I don't think he was that involved with them back in the first few.
2017's Deadman tournament, on the other hand,
then how did they already lock it down? Oh, that'll do it. There it is.
Short for distributed denial of service, and basically involves overloading someone's
gamers just can't play the game
so
no more.
Much traffic that it has to step outside for a quick smoke to calm down, disconnecting them from the service in the meantime. Thankfully,
that's a hell of a way to describe what a DDoS is.
As well as requiring the IP address of the personal service you're trying to attack. Information the standard RuneScape player probably wouldn't have access to, unless they were, say, a junior content developer working for Jagex. After learning from the bottleneck problem in the previous year, 2017's Deadman mode saw the final 200 players teleported to small islands, where they were then randomly divided and forced to fight to the death. These players were whittled down to the final 4, including one member of Rot, who used his superior knowledge of the game to outwit his opponents and come out on top.
Really?
Is what I would like to say, but instead, both of his opponents mysteriously disconnected mid-fight, making them easy targets for him to clean up and claim first place. Sensing something fishy going on, Jagex conveniently disqualified him for botting because they couldn't prove it was him or an associate disconnecting his opponents.
That's some fuckery right there, man.
Because he was botting. This resulted in
of course he was botting.
The runner-up, who was disconnected from the finals, receiving half of the first place prize, with the remaining half going to charity. By this point, the community
I would
had
demand a whole sum. Like, he rightfully won that. He rightfully won that. He only gets half of it because the person who technically won was cheating.
To calm the community by announcing that he would be stepping down as a member of Rot. Now, it is entirely possible that Jed had nothing to do with the Deadman fiasco, a sentiment again echoed by mod Matt K. But it is interesting that Reign of Terror have been unable to win a Deadman tournament since Jed was fired from Jagex. Oh, you're wondering why Jed was fired?
That is very suspicious.
Well, all he did was... Up until now, the allegations made against Jed were just that. Allegations. Very plausible allegations, dripping with suspicion sauce and wrapped in charbroiled coincidence, but allegations nonetheless.
No, dude.
And ones often perpetuated by rival clans with nothing to lose. That was until Thursday, July 5th, 2018, when Reddit user MazrimLol posted to the 2007 Scape subreddit, complaining that their account had been hacked and 45 billion gold had been stolen. As we saw in the coverage of Venezuela's gold farming scene, RuneScape gold is surprisingly liquid, and were Mazrim to have sold this for real money, they estimate it would have been worth around $30,000. Naturally,
Jesus.
the majority of people replying had
I
little
didn't know that
sympathy for Mazur,
RuneScape Gold
and
had
assumed
that
they were
much
either
actual
sloppy with their
real-world
account
value to
security
it. Holy
or
shit.
actually had sold their account and were now having regrets, which are both reasonable assumptions to make.
I wonder how
Mazur
long it
insisted
takes
they
to
were
rack
hacked,
up that much
and that there
RuneScape
may well be
Gold.
foul play happening within Jagex. Dozens of these mysterious hackings continue to pop up, often with Jagex moderators informing the user that a huge amount of their personal information had been compromised, unaware that this breach was occurring within their own company. In an interview
The
with
call
the
is
OSRS
coming from
podcast,
inside the house.
ex-Jagex mod Matt K confirms that ModJed was using Jagex's backend account recovery system in order to recover accounts. The process you use when
So
you need
he's
to have
just
your password reset
swiping
or
people's
email
accounts,
changed because you can't log in. Using
stealing
these
their
moderator
gold,
tools,
and
he would instead send the details
hoarding
to
it all,
himself,
or selling
log
it?
into these recovered accounts, and then make off with all of the valuables inside.
That's
It is believed
fucked
he would
up,
scout
dog.
for accounts to hack by looking for streamers who engaged in arena staking, which is essentially gambling, whose wealth he could confirm by
Gambling
watching
will
the
do it.
stream.
It'll do
There
it to
are
you.
also reports of a suspicious player asking others to bet high sums of money, and once they accepted and proved they could, this shady character would back out, with the wealthy player being hacked not long after. Whether these methods are true or not, what
So
we know
he
for
had, like,
sure
a
is
Smurf
that
account
ModJed
go
made
in,
off with hundreds
steal,
of billions of gold,
to, like,
which
scope it
Jagex
out,
valued at
and
roughly
then send, and then he hacks them.
$250,000. The real kicker here is
That is some
while
dicketry
stealing
right
money
there,
is an
dog.
understandable if scummy incentive, Jed would also destroy all of the untradeable items of the accounts he hacked. This provided no benefit to him, but some members of the community believe that he was doing this in order to hamstring rival clan members. Even worse, in order to access their back-end account recovery system,
That is
Jed would
some
impersonate
real
other
bullshit.
employees at Jagex.
Because he was pretending to be other people, and he was faking his profile as somebody else.
Okay,
Other-
so not
the
only
people
was he
who
just
are
stealing
responsible
people's
for making
money
those decisions
and destroying
called
people's
into
rare
meetings,
loot, he was
and disciplinary meetings
impersonating
saying, look, you've given away
other
this account, you shouldn't have done
employees.
that. Because that's how strict the password requests are. If you grant password requests, it gets checked.
Yeah,
and if
I
it's
can
done
see why he was
incorrectly, until
fired.
you're done, you end up losing your job. And there were people on the cusp of losing their job because what he was doing. And he didn't give a monkey's about that. He was just worried about getting the money.
Whether Reign of
What a
Terror was
fucking
involved in this process
dickhole.
or not is unknown. But let me know what you think in the comments. Following an investigation, Jagex put out an important announcement, which goes over the situation in exceptionally vague terms. They state that an employee has been dismissed following gross misuse of moderator privileges. While no names are specifically mentioned, it didn't take players long to discover that ModJed's Twitter account had been banned along with his personal RuneScape account. The players who had their
Good.
golden
Fuck 'em.
items stolen also found them fully restored. This is an exceptionally
Ooh,
rare move
good.
from Jagex, who didn't even restore items during the infamous Falador massacre. But given the extremely
Yet another
bad
thing I'll
press
probably
that
have to
Jed
learn
had
about.
generated for them, I imagine they wanted to reassure the community that you're not going to permanently lose your items due to a rogue J-mod. Years later,
Yeah,
Jed
I'd
managed to
sure hope not.
successfully argue in court that he was unfairly dismissed by Jagex. The UK has very strong laws around sacking employees, and while the judge agrees that Jed's behaviour would have resulted in his dismissal either way,
How the
Jed
hell
argued
did
that
he
the
get
process
o-
that
how
Jagex
the
took
hell
to investigate his misbehaviour
did
was heavily
he
biased.
win a court case
Essentially,
for
Jagex went
wrongful
into the
termination?
investigation of the stolen gold, with Jed already pinned
Like,
as the likely suspect, searching for evidence
It's
they could
not
link
even
to him,
just like
instead of
stealing the gold
investigating
and
the stolen
destroying
gold
people's
and
accounts.
seeing where the evidence led. Jed was
But
hoping to win back both him
Him
his
also
job
impersonating
and the wages he had
other
lost during
employees.
the period of his unfair dismissal. But since the judge concluded that
Like,
he would
for
have
real?
lost his job whether the investigation was done correctly or not, he was denied these unpaid wages. As for getting his job back, well, no. He did manage to walk away with £1,008 for his troubles, a fraction
Wow.
of the 217,000 quid that the document alleges he stole. Realizing he had committed career seppuku thanks to the mountains of bad press that pop up when you Google his name.
Good, I hope this guy can
Jed
never get a
Sanderson
job.
went on to double name change in real life, possibly to something like Ted Sanderson or Ned Flanderson or Steve.
If you apply for a job
Steve.
as Jed Sanderson and they just type your name into Google, all you get is pages and pages of what you did. So he was never getting a
Good.
job.
He
so
deserves
had
to
change
have
name.
his.
Reign of Terror
He
would
deserves to have
continue
his
on their
name
reign
ran through the mud like that.
of terror. Jagex would go on to run Deadman tournaments with just as much drama as when Jed worked there, before retiring the mode in 2020. Many kudos would continue his long tradition of not knowing how to end a video. After some more wacky MMO drama, why not choose between my other RuneScape Scandals video or my World of Warcraft Scandals video?
I'll have to watch that RuneScape's Many Scandals video next time. Wow, so that was definitely worse than the Sony mods and developers for EverQuest. Holy shit. Between cheating and giving advantages to your in-game clan, to straight up stealing people's money, destroying their rare items, impersonating other employees just to get away with it whenever you're stealing people's accounts. Holy shit. That is some downright awful shit. And I'm glad that guy got fired. I don't know how he had a judgment in his favor about it, but I'm glad he didn't get his job back, and I'm glad he didn't get wages for that. Because I'm sure he still made off like a fucking bandit with all that gold he stole. I'm sure he managed to sell that on like black markets or something if they actually have real world value. But yeah, let me know about what you think about that and about any other major controversies like that in the worlds of MMO that I should check out down in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the like button on the video and hit the subscribe button. And thank you for stopping by the HQ. Bye-bye.